Hello, and welcome to this webinar of the 9 things you should know before buying into any franchise. My name's Andy Gwynn, and I want to thank you and welcome you for taking the time out to log in and view this, because you're obviously interested in either setting up your own business or developing another business and looking at the options of franchising. And franchising has a lot of advantages, whether this is your first franchise or whether you're not buying into another one. Myself and my team, we've established a franchise called 3 Degrees Social, LinkedIn training and coaching franchise. And we've been business coaches. I've been coaching business owners for 11 years on how to grow their business, how to build a business that generates them the wealth and free time that they deserve and they choose. And I've been involved in franchising for the last 11 years. Both myself, Mary, and Kat, we've been franchisees. I've coached other franchisors. I've been paid by my franchisor to coach franchisees. I'm currently coaching some franchisees in other franchises. And over the years, whether it's just building a business or whether it's buying a franchise, which you may hear the saying of a business in a box, there's been it never ceases to amaze me, the sort of, I guess, the challenges and the pain, both emotionally and financially, that people create, really through just a lack of knowledge. So what I want to give you over the next 30 minutes or so are some key things that you can be aware of, and that will be things that will hopefully you'll be able to consider when looking at whatever franchise business it is that you're considering. First thing to think about is there a high demand? Is there a high demand in the market for the product and service? We're franchising our LinkedIn training and coaching business, and there's a huge demand for it. There are 15 million personal profiles on LinkedIn just in the UK alone, let alone the 200 or 300 million globally. I've just been talking to someone who was looking at an oven cleaning franchise. We were talking about the level of demand that there may be, and not just the demand by people. You could say that everyone's got an oven, but is there a demand, or is there also a need, or do you have to create some of that need? Also, I was talking to someone, working with someone who'd got an outdoor franchise that was dealing with the domestic public. And really, you could, whether it's repairing car scratches, whether it's cutting down trees or doing gardening, the demand for it may be seasonal, not just for people wanting to buy it. Who does the product help? Who does it help? And the more clear you can get on that, what type of customer that it is that you want to sell to. Is it high end? Is it a commodity? Are you selling baked beans, or are you selling a Rolls Royce? Who exactly does it help? What I mean by that is getting clear on the type of client and customer that you're looking to reach and looking to get to, and how easy are they to reach? What problem does it solve? That may sound straightforward, but what's the real problem it solves? There's the old sort of analogy of, if you want to hang a picture on a wall and you need to drill a hole to put the hook in, but you don't have a drill, you go along to B&Q or wherever to buy a drill. Actually, what you're really looking to do is create a hole. Actually, beyond that, you're looking to hang a picture. So it may not be that the drill's the best solution. Check out your competition, not just the competition within the franchise industry, but the competition within that product and service. Because Subway, for example, is competing with every other high street sandwich shop at a level. They may well argue that they're doing it differently and that they're not competing anymore. And that brings me on to this point. How will you stand out against the competition? What is it you will do differently? And again, part of the advantage of a franchise might be the brand, might be the presence, might not just be the product and service. What tools will you get from your franchisor to be able to do this? And we'll come more onto that. What sort of support, what sort of collateral, what sort of materials will you get from them? And how will you be positioned in the marketplace? Our franchise is very new, and how we've been positioned, it's around the level of expertise, but because the franchise is new, the brand isn't big, but the product is in demand. So it works for us and our franchisees at that level. It will be different for different products and services. What are your USPs? A USP is your unique selling point. What is it, again, that you're different at? I often get people tell me that they do such and such a business, and I say to them, what makes you different to your competition? And I usually get fluff. I usually get, well, we're big enough to cope and small enough to care, and we deliver on time. And maybe a good benchmark question to ask you, the franchisor you're talking to, is if I ask one of your competitors what makes them different, what's their uniqueness, what would they say? Because if they say the same, then it's not really unique, is it? Are they strong enough? Is it powerful enough? So some action points, things to perhaps do. One of the things to ask is to see testimonials from existing customers of the business. This can be existing franchisees. I'd also be interested in asking them for testimonials from the end user, customer or client as well. I can obviously give you testimonials and put you in touch with my franchisees, but actually you also want to know the product they're delivering, because you're going to be one of them. So you want to be asking for testimonials of the customers of the business, not just of the franchisees. I had someone approach me the other day about a franchise I used to be in 4 years ago. He said, I don't want to talk to a current franchisee. I want to talk to one who's been there, done it, who probably isn't going to be biased in any way or excited because they're still within that business. Ask franchisees how they stand in the market and position themselves differently, because each franchisee, depending on the type of business, may stand out differently. Do the research. You can never do enough research. Number two, it must be profitable. And this may sound like common sense, may sound obvious, but don't be fooled. Take an in-depth look at the model. Does the profitability match what you want to earn from the business? That's important. Take into account the running costs of the business. Some business models are much easier to take into account and add up. What's the license fees? What's the running costs of your business? And we'll come on to a little bit more about that as well. Number three is about getting and keeping customers. And again, this may sound obvious, but I'm not sure that it always is. People say to me, well, it's common sense. And my experience is common sense isn't always that common. Getting and keeping customers is the lifeblood of any business. I mean, a lot of people going into business, and my experience is some franchisors franchise because they've got a great product and service, so they can show you how to make the cakes, they can show you how to cut the trees, how to fill the print cartridges, how to print the paper, and show you what to do, the product and the service. But how much support and system and evidence and experience have they got of marketing and sales? Most people go into business because they get excited about the product and service. They don't necessarily think about how good are they at sales and marketing. It's the most important thing you do in the working day. The majority of your time, whether you're setting a franchise up to employ other people from day one, like you would, for instance, at McDonald's, you have a team. They have a phenomenal marketing system. Or it might be that you're doing the delivery. You're doing the carpet cleaning or the repairing of the cars or the LinkedIn training to your customers. So you've got to be responsible for the sales and marketing as well. And there's the interesting thing, because a lot of people, they do lots of got to market. Now I've got business, I've got to deliver, and now I need some more clients. I've got to market. So what is your process? How clear are you on how you're going to get your customers from day one into your business? I had another lady ring me up recently asking about a franchise, and I said to her, what are you most concerned about? And she told me, and I knew the franchise. I said, I wouldn't be concerned about that. I think they're very good at that level of support in that area. I said, how confident are you at learning on your confidence level to be able to learn to sell and market? Because her background was not marketing. And she said, I'm not. And I said, that's what I would be asking the franchisor. What support will they give you? Our background is business coaching. It's sales. It's coaching salespeople and marketing. So one thing that's important to us is that we train our franchisees on my proven experience of how to market and get customers, but not just train them at the front end, but support them on an ongoing basis. We'll come more to that. What tools does the franchisor provide in the way of maybe training, but systems, marketing pieces, scripts, outsource, support? What is being provided for you? Some franchisors offer a starter package. Find out what's in it. If your franchise business is business to consumer, is it posters or leaflets, business cards? all of our franchisees get business cards, but they get pop-up, pull-up banners to be able to use at exhibitions and networking events, because for us, those two marketing strategies are core and powerful ways for them to get new business. Some franchisors, it's done for you. I know one franchise where really the franchisee is just acting as a project manager, because all the business is brought to them by the franchisor. The franchisor has a complete sales and marketing operation. Your role is just to go in and deliver on the work. That's not really running a business in my eyes. That's really just becoming a self-employed project manager. It suits some people, and it can be a good way of making a living. So the biggest pitfall for most new franchisees, I think, that they make is they may well procrastinate. A lot of us can be world class at getting ready. So what is it you need to get on and do? But what is the most successful marketing strategies that are proving profitable right now? Ask franchisees how easy it was to get customers in the early days and what worked for them. And I believe in the 80-20 rule. 80% of your time is to get and keep customers. Preserve and fight hard for this. It's your only strategy for success. I believe that we've constantly got to develop and learn. And actually, as a business owner, as a franchise owner, our most important role, I think, certainly one of them, is to become master sales and marketeers, master salespeople and marketing people. We are self-employed salespeople as business owners, as franchisees. We don't make any money if we don't make sales. A good mentor of mine once said, "Nothing in business starts until a sale is made." Number 4, and I've touched on it and alluded it, what training and support? The reason you would pay me to buy into my franchise is not just to get the product. It's not just to learn how to cook the fries or make the burger or clean the carpet, because you could probably go out and find some of that yourself. It's about buying a business in a box, and the training and support for me is major. I've seen most franchisees that I see that struggle. It's because they're not getting that level of training and support from their franchisor. What's involved in the induction training? There's usually a period of induction training at the front end. What does it cover? I'm fortunate because our LinkedIn training and coaching franchise is I'm selling a process to go out and train people. So our training that we give you must be congruent, must be world class. Part of our product is training and coaching our franchisees to become great trainers and coaches and speakers. So we cover all of that in our induction training. We cover sessions on how to market the product and service, how to sell it, and then how to deliver it. What materials are made available post-induction. How can you access the material? We have an online hub full of videos and documents and every bit of material, not just to deliver the product and service, but to build your own business, to help you build your own franchise. What ongoing training is available? We have weekly online coaching sessions with our franchisees. We bring them all together once a month for franchise development sessions, and we'll have periodic conferences. There's a whole load of resources for them to access other parts of the business. This is one of the major things for me, because it isn't just about going out there to get a client to clean the carpets. Because as a self-employed business owner and franchisee, you've got to learn how to sell a market. You've got to learn how to manage your time, how to manage your finances, how to deal with IT, deal with suppliers as well as customers, deal with banks. You've got to, running a franchise and being self-employed is learning how to build a business. That's the support we need to give you, not just how to clean the carpet or how to cut the tree down. What does this take from you in order to be involved? How does the franchisor ensure that you're on track and supported to reach your big goals? It has to be two-way, and it really should be in the franchisor's interest as well as your interest. And we'll sort of come on to that. I've known franchisors just want to sell franchises, and then the franchisee struggles. For me, it's a two-way thing. I need the right person, because actually, if we get the right franchisee, you don't probably want to hear that much from your franchisor. I've had 3 franchises in the past, and other than being given the training and support and accessing that, I don't really want to hear from them much because I'm busy growing and building my business. So it's important to me that we get the right franchisees. And the better I can help support and train people, then the better. And I'm hesitating right now because you may have just seen that flick on. Bless technology, hey? The better you're going to succeed, the better we're all going to succeed. So protect your business and your sanity. Ask questions. There are no prizes for slog. There's no prizes for hard work in the way. You can never ask too many questions. One of the things I urge you to do is as much due diligence at the front end. Get a big checklist of all the pros and cons. It needs to tick all of the boxes for you. Speak with franchisees about the franchisor, startup support, the ongoing support, coaching and training, innovation and ideas from HQ. And again, I believe I'm fortunate in our franchise because we're in the internet business, because we're teaching people to use social media and LinkedIn. We have to be on top of innovation because we're in a business that moves so quickly. That's similar to some of my colleagues and clients that are in the property investing franchise industry. It's a very fast-moving business. So are they responsive? Are they supporting you? Number 5, do the maths. I very rarely meet people who have gone into business to run financial spreadsheets and management accounting and profit and loss sheets, and yet it's one of the most important things. And at the front end, does it add up? You know, what's it going to cost if is it a stock holding business? Do you need to take on premises? Do you need to take on staff at the front end? Can you grow without help? There's a great franchise there, people. If you're in car cleaning or car repair, you'll need the vehicle that's all kitted out. If you're in cartridge refill, you're going to need premises and stock. What's the cost of it all up front? And at what stage will you need help? Here's the big mantra to take away with you. As a business owner, as a franchisee, you need to be a generalist and employ specialists at some level. Even if it's just one man in a van franchise, you still need, in my world, you need to be taking on a bookkeeper because you're not a specialist bookkeeper. In the time they do it in a fraction of the time you do, and it frees you up to do the stuff you want to do the business you bought into. So think about what kind of help you will need and what's the costs of it. I'm all for leveraging out my time so that I can focus my time on my core activities. And nowadays with the internet, we're in such a we're in the best position as franchisees than we ever can be. Online sites such as Fiverr, Elance, VAs, call answering, you can get things outsourced. I've just been talking to a plumber who said, I'm that busy taking phone calls. He said, leverage it out to a VA or virtual assistant, a call answering service. Let them take the calls and send you the messages. It's just beneficial in so many ways. Make sure you know what the bills are. Also make sure you know what your personal overheads, your living expenses are for probably the first 6 months, because you need to factor all that in. I've known people buy into it and then realize it's taken them longer to get the franchise moving, the sales coming in, and it's impacted on their cash flow. Speak with a good accountant. One of our processes is at the end of our induction training, our accountant comes in and meets with our franchisees. Those of them that need an accountant can work with it. We've got IT consultants, we've got web designers, we've got electronic email marketing specialists that we introduce to all our franchisees. Ensure you factor in expenses and overheads into your forecast. Ask the franchisor how much the total investment is required. I will say to my franchisees, potential franchisees, our business again, I think is very well leveraged, is that there's not a huge amount of money needed to invest in marketing. The amount of people I meet that set up business and I go, what's your marketing budget? And they go, I haven't got one, I haven't got anything to spend. I've spent it on computers and getting an office and setting up phones and internet and printing some flyers. One of the things I will say to my potential franchisees is, here's what you will need to run your business. And I would conservatively budget for 6 months and then add in what your lifestyle is costing you, what your personal and domestic costs are for 6 months. That's how much you need to have and be able to invest at the front end. If we start making sales in months 1, 2, or 3, and it becomes quicker than that, great. Because the last thing anybody should be doing is lying awake at night worrying about money when they're setting up a new business or starting a new franchise. So that's what I mean by these. Operating capital is the money you need to run the business. At what point can you be expected to break even? What are the ranges in financial performance? When I bought my first franchise, I spoke to 3 top franchisees that were very successful and 3 that were struggling. And it was clear to me why they were struggling. And it was clear to me why these guys had made the money. And I'm a big believer, if the model's there and somebody's done it, then, you know, unless it's rocket science, I ought to be able to do it as well. And that's the advantage of buying a franchise, is that you can be modeling and adopting a proven system, process, and experience that others have done before you. So I can't stress enough, do as much due diligence and research. Become a forensic scientist in the type of franchise that you are looking to go into, and know your numbers. A great mentor of mine said, the language of business is numbers. So that's a big important thing. And residual income is a beautiful thing. What do I mean by residual income? Residual income is money that comes in without you needing to work. So it's coming in because it's coming in maybe while you sleep. It's coming in because you've got other people delivering money. It can be, I had a franchise that we sold membership. So we had people join us and they would pay money every month. And we deliver, but we would get paid. It would be residual income coming in each month. My first franchise, my business coaching franchise, I had to do the work to get paid. The nice thing about our LinkedIn franchise is the stuff you can do on webinars, the stuff you can do on internet. So will it give you residual income? I rarely, if ever, I've known McDonald's franchisee working in the restaurant beyond training once they've set it all up, because they've got people to do that, run the business for them. So it becomes passive stroke residual. Why would you want it? Because that's my pension. That's really all a pension is. I pay this on I have property that's a pension as well. Again, one of my early mentors and coaches would say, if you write a book once, you then get paid forever every time it gets sold, whether it's online, whether you sell it to someone across the counter. So can you generate residual income in the franchise that you're looking at? Can it give you multiple streams of income? Or is it just one? What's the power of multiple streams of income? You can spread your risk. You can adapt as the seasons adapt, as the market adapts, as demand adapts. So it's worth considering. Will it aid you in growth? And number 7, skills match. A big thing for me is, I've just spoken again with somebody, rang me and asked about a franchise, and I said, what are your strengths? Because typically what we're good at, we enjoy doing. So it's worth sitting down and thinking about and writing down, what are your strengths? What's your current skill set? And is that really what you want to do? What will you do in your business? I don't get involved much with the IT. I'm not really the techie. Mary has the IT consultants around her and is in charge of IT. What else don't I do? I don't do a lot of admin. I have a mantra that says, if I can pay someone £7 an hour to do administrative stuff and skills, that frees me up to do the higher paid thing. I'm more experienced. My background is sales. My background isn't necessarily writing complex marketing campaigns and lots of marketing copy. So I have other people in our business that can do that. Kat oversees some of that and has people around her because that's her area of strength. So what won't you do and don't you want to do as well as you do? Do these skills match the franchise you're thinking of? You know, I don't have a high patience level. I would never have bought, let's say, a car repair or car painting or even grass cutting franchise, because I don't particularly enjoy lots of manual labour. I also don't particularly want to be outside 12 months of the year when the weather might not be good. Also, equally, I'm not going to buy a bookkeeping or accountancy franchise because I don't have the patience to sit down and do meticulous work and data input day after day. So think about what it suits. We do a lot of DISC profiling. DISC is a behavioral profiling tool, and there's lots of others of them out there. I would just advocate that you get an even better understanding of what your strengths and maybe weaknesses are, and see if you can cross-match that against the skills that are required in the franchise. Don't fit your skills to a business that's not relevant. And for me, it's all about sales. The pitfall is sales. I meet business owners that say, I'm going to employ a sales manager because I'm no good at sales. Well, how can you bring in a manager if you're no good at sales? I think I've laboured the point to make sure you've got the support that you need. And what's your vision? This is the big thing. It's critically important to ask your franchisor about their vision for the business, because you're going to be part of a network. Does it align with yours? And actually, what's your vision? Michael Gerber's The E-Myth Revisited talks about start with the end in mind. Do you have full confidence in the franchisor's ability to develop a business? You might be the sort of person that can take their system and their product and sort of run with it, so maybe it's not as important. If it's new to you, then no business can stand still. Ask lots of questions about their vision, their plan, how they're setting about achieving it. You've got to commit. Most franchises, from my experience of 5 or 7 years, I've got a client who's in a 10-year franchise. We've specifically set ours up as 3 because I just believe people's lives change over periods. And if somebody is in my franchise and after 3 years they want to do something different, I want for them to be able to do that. I can afford to do that because we have such a high demand of potential franchisees. So there's a big commitment for you and for the franchisor on time. So what is their vision? And what's the plan? I used to run a scuba diving school. We had a mantra in scuba diving that says, plan the dive and dive the plan. Most incidents happened when people didn't have a plan or went off plan. That is the same in business. Have a plan for everything. Don't spend 3 days working on a business plan, stick it on the shelf, because that's called shelf development. Plan. You can never plan in enough detail. If you're a detailed type of person, you'll love this. If you're not a detailed type of person, you need to be for this context and idea of creating a plan. You can never put in too much detail. How will you get customers? Where will you find them? What will they look like? How much will they spend? Where will they shop? Even down to their names. Become a forensic scientist in understanding your business and your customers. Finances, be realistic. Cash flow, busy, quiet times, I've mentioned that. And how would it fit into your life? I've just had a client come up, I just had a tradesman who's a plumber come up to me and said, I'm both myself and my wife are working 15 hours a day and I'm answering the phone at all times of the day. I need some help. I said, why did you go into this? He said, business has to be a work-life balance. So how would it fit into your life and the people around you that are close to you, their life? And this has got to serve you. Your business, your franchise needs to generate the wealth and the free time that you deserve. So again, you can never ask too many questions. Involve your family members, those that are relevant. I'm meeting only this week with a potential franchisee, and we're meeting, Mary, Kat and I are meeting with him and his wife. I may not ask family members that don't understand business because I might get negative or clouded sort of opinions or comments, but I need to involve the family members that are close to me. It's a big commitment to set up a business, let alone to buy a franchise. Speak to as many as you can and go into it wide open. Make absolutely certain that it's right for you. And so those are the 9 points. This recording is up there for forever now, so if you need to access this again, you can. There will be a pop-up with a bit of an offer. If you think the idea of a 3 Degrees Social LinkedIn training and coaching franchise might be the sort of thing that's aligned with your strengths and you want to have a chat, that would be fantastic. If you're looking at other franchises, I hope this has given you something that you can use while you're in that due diligence period with those franchises. And whatever your decision is, I wish you all the best with it and all the success in your future business. And thanks again for joining us.